If you are coming out of a negative relationship, toxic relationship, or you're still in one and you know you need to get out, maybe you're dealing with a narcissist, there are 3 things that you must start doing now. This is today's episode of our lunchtime lessons. If you've been around the channel for a little bit, then you know I am a teacher. So today we're going to school. We are going to break out our whiteboard and we're going to talk about what are the things that you need to do to start healing and becoming whole, because that is what we are all about on this channel. If you're new here, my name is Chandanicole. Welcome. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. You guys know that I love you. Let's get into today's lesson. Right off the bat, you are going to need to start the healing process as soon as possible. If you are contemplating getting out of the relationship, go ahead and start these steps now. If you're just coming out, you definitely want to start these steps now. Let's take a look at the first step. You know what? I need a pointer. Let me find a pointer, because you know, you can't be a teacher and go to school and you don't have a pointer. So let me get a pointer from my whiteboard. Okay? Let's go to class. All right. You have got to do number 1 first. You see here what I have on my board. Self-reflection. You have to do self-reflection. You need to take a look at what has gone wrong. What does that look like for you? That could be evaluating your boundaries. Evaluating your boundaries. Do you have any? How firm are they? Do you stick to them? People pleaser. Are you a people pleaser? Do you give in, and are you more concerned about how everybody else is doing, what other people think, how other people are feeling, even to the detriment of yourself? Empathy. Are you such a feeler, or do you have such deep empathy for other people that you are always giving and giving and giving, and on the other end, they are taking and taking and taking, and you are allowing your empathy and to cause you to be abused and become a doormat? These are things that you need to take a look at. Really be honest with yourself and do self-reflection. On the channel, we have videos that go into depth on each one of those, the necessary boundaries that you have to have, and that you have to really take action on those boundaries, not just give them lip service. We have another video on being a people pleaser and being a peacemaker, the difference between the two. We also talk very much about empathy and people using your empathy against you, weaponizing it and taking all those wonderful abilities to care and connect and feel for people on a deep level, and they turn that over, flip it on you and weaponize it against you by using you. So definitely take a look at self-reflection. What else do we need to do? Let's look at number 2, self-love. And that may seem like, well, it's obvious, but so many of us who are empathizers, we don't do that. And if we also have the need to please, we don't do that. We don't love ourselves enough to what? Give ourselves grace, forgive ourselves, and prioritize ourselves. We have got to do that. Give yourself grace, especially if this is not the first relationship that you've been in that is toxic, and you're beating yourself up that you've made another mistake. I've been in romantic relationships with more than one narcissist, and you do beat yourself up because you wonder, how could you have let your discernment and your judgment become so lax? But these people are master manipulators, and some of them are very hard to spot, even for people who deal with this and work in this area all the time. I'm fine-tuning my skills all the time, becoming better and better at spotting narcissistic people or people who just have strong narcissistic, toxic tendencies. But in the meantime, you have to give yourself grace and you can't beat yourself up. And then you've got to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself, because obviously you don't make these decisions trying to have it turn out a hot mess. So if it does turn out that way, forgive yourself, give yourself some grace, and then prioritize you. What do you need? What is your peace worth? How do you need to protect your time, your mind, your physical health so that you can begin the healing process? So 2, self-love. Make sure you don't neglect that. 3, self-preservation. Self-preservation. How do you do that? You do that by what you're doing right now. You're getting knowledge. You're getting educated. You're figuring out where I went wrong. What do I need to do differently? The more education you get, the better you're going to be prepared so that it doesn't happen again. You want to preserve your peace, your sanity, your physical well-being, because these toxic relationships, they can make you physically ill. Dealing with some of these people, they'll have you thinking you're crazy. They are very, very cunning, and they gaslight you into you thinking that you're the crazy one. So if you've been in a relationship with narcissistic people, toxic people, they could be family, it could be on your job, you could be married to one, and they will truly be trying to take you out, to be honest. I was trying not to say it, but yes, narcissistic people have the goal to use you up until there is nothing left. Take you out. You have got to be your biggest champion. You've got to be your biggest hero. You have got to put self-preservation at the top of the list. So I'm going to leave you with those 3 things that you must do as soon as possible. Get started on these. You have got to reflect. You've got to take the time, even if it hurts, to think back through and kind of relive what you've been through. You have to take the time, reflect, give yourself grace and forgiveness, love yourself, and then get educated and armed to preserve yourself. That is today's lunchtime lessons. As always, you guys know I am always willing to pray for you. Anything that you're going through that you could use another prayer warrior, drop it in the comments or email me. My email's in the description. I'll be happy to pray for you. Until tomorrow's lesson, y'all take care. I'm going to go eat my lunch before I have to get back to class. All right. Bye-bye, y'all.